Hello everyone, as you all know, I'm Rutuja Kulkarni, student chapter leader CyberFrat, and I'm here to take the first ever session of Python in collaboration with CyberFrat. So everyone must be wondering what Python is. We are hearing it since a long from every media. I guess most of you are students, if I'm not wrong, or even professionals. So, like people nowadays are in professionals also taking trainings on Python, and you know what Python is. They are curious to know because most of the things are taking over by Python. So I'll just open the PPT for you all. Just give me a sec. Um, Uh, not sure why it is not opening. Yeah, there we go. So, yep, second slide is about myself only. Yeah, I have the experience of joint secretary of student chapter of Computer Society of India. I am also the campus representative of Google Crowdsource India. And currently, yeah, I'm working on an Android application project for cancer health seekers for governmental organization. So there also we are using Python a bit. So this programming language is been used everywhere, and nowadays as people are saying that AI, ML, data science making wonders in everyone's career. Python is also one of those things among all the languages which is at the top. If you check in all the sites, I guess, even if you check currently go on browser and type out which is the famous language, the first name would come as Python. Even in 2019, it was the best language, programming language. Moving on to the next session, as you all know what cyberthreat is, I guess I, I should not explain. So today's agenda is I will be explaining what Python is and why Python. I mean, why to learn Python, why to use Python. Also, who created Python and why created Python, why it is used worldwide nowadays in such a huge amount. Then applications of Python, overview of further sessions. I mean, in the next 12 sessions, what we will be learning, I will give you a short glimpse about it. Then the hands-on Python. So as today is an introductory session, I won't go into deep. So most of it would be, interacting session because I'll be explaining you about everything about Python in general. So to give you an overview, still we'll try to have some hands-on session. We'll try to type out few things and to make you sure that you are good with typing. I'm not sure how many of you are good with coding or who are new to coding. So considering that all are beginners, set aside, I'll show you the basic hands-on on Python, like basic things we could do on Python, basic coding. Then things which are not in Python. So this is pretty interesting thing. So I'll just keep this thing on hold and I'll let you know when we go to the next part. Then how to download Intellij IDEA. So Intellij IDEA is a platform which we can use to run the Python programming. It's definitely a free Python programming platform. So it can also have Java, Kotlin, and in like few others programming languages we can work on there. Why I prefer Intellij and everything I'll be sharing with you soon. Then what will you gain after this learning? I mean, after learning this session. So I'll be explaining you about it also in detail. So this was today's agenda. So yeah, you must be thinking why this PPT is so small, because I wanted this session to be pretty interactive. So instead of, reading out everything over the PPT, I felt like explaining you everything about Python orally, which would sound more interactive. So what is Python? It's a worldwide most often used programming language nowadays. And Python is an open source language, if you know all. Open source as in it's not something which is owned by someone and you have to pay for it to get to start coding on it. It's not like that. It can be used on any operating system like Linux, Windows, It means, as you know, I'm using Linux right now, obviously because it's an open source. So that's the reason Python is being used more often nowadays. As for Java also, you have to download certain packages and you have to pay a lot when it comes to companies and organizations. Talking about Python is free of cost and everyone can learn it. That's the reason it's getting popular more nowadays. So yeah, and it's Python language is interpreted language. It means when you type out a code, you'll get to know immediately what you're typing out and what mistakes. Like if you type one particular sentence, the output of that sentence you will get immediately after that sentence. It's not like the language which we do object oriented languages like C, C++, where you have to write a whole bunch of code and then the code gets compiled and then you get to know, okay, the error is in this particular line, and then you have to figure out, oh my god, what the error is, and whole lot of issues you have to face. So this thing is not in Python. So every time, sentence by sentence, your program gets compiled, your program gets run. So after every sentence you get to know, okay, this is what I have to write, and this is what the mistake is, and this is how I have to solve further. So it gets run step by step. So that's why it's not a compiled language, it's an interpreted language. Why Python? I guess I've told this to you before, uh, a lot, that it's a open source, it's free of cost, and Python was specially designed because what I can say, it's easy to use and people can relate to it more. As you can see, for C++, Java, the syntax is very, it's not that easy. Okay, people generally prefer Python as what I can say, beginners language. I mean, people who don't know anything about coding, they prefer Python because it's very easy to understand. It's very close to the general English views. Like while I'll be telling it to you later on in further sessions, I'll be explaining you everything. So whether whatever sessions Python has, like functions, method overloading, and everything. So you will get to know there that how Python is so relatable to today's nowadays things we are doing, today's industry, and what we are doing nowadays. So that's the reason I guess Python is pretty useful, because people relate to it, relate uh, whatever work they are doing, they can relate to Python. They can use every small example in their life to relate to code it in Python. Who created Python? Python was created by Van Rossum. So this person belongs to Netherlands. So I guess in late 1980s, he created Python in 1989. So he was a graduate student just like me. In his 20s, he wondered what we need to create a programming language which would be preferable for everyone to use, because that time C and all these language were pretty popular, and the person who used to code in C or C++ and similar languages, people used to consider him pro. Oh my god, he can learn, he knows C. So this was something which was not understandable by everyone, these languages. So Van Rossum thought, why not to make a programming language which would be very easy and very understandable by everyone. So that's why he had a thought of creating Python, and hence he created a standard implementation of Python. So that's the reason why Van Rossum created Python. So why it is used worldwide. So this thing also I had told you earlier, that Python has very good applications. It's very easy to use. The code, which takes 10 to 15 lines in C, C++, Python takes hardly 3 to 4 lines. Okay, so what's the reason behind it is Python has certain packets. So when Van Rossum created Python, it was created in C. Okay, so Python was basically created in C. So there are certain files, or what I can say, packets in Python which are made in C actually. So what you write, let's say you write print hello world, so it will immediately show you print hello world. Okay, there is no parentheses, there is no semicolon, colon, anything you have to note down. So these all things were done backside. So One of the drawback of Python would be it takes more time to run. Not much more, but a pretty more time to run as compared to C or C++. Because in C, C++, Java, you have to write the whole coding, whereas in Python, you have to write a less amount of coding, and the main work is done by the software or the system in its backside. So it's like on the front end, you just have to type out some lines and you'll get the output immediately. Versions of Python. Okay, so Python, versions of Python, as in currently the most updated version of Python is Python 3. So our next topic is what are the versions of Python. So Python was created in 1989 by Van Rossum, and in 1989 he made a standard implementation. So yeah, one more thing, if you want to note down these versions, you can simply take out pen and pencil, or share the screen and type out anywhere. You will get it anywhere because these versions are known to everyone who is learning or who has learned Python. So that's for you. In 1989, he created Python. In 1991, he made it an open source forum. It means he made it accessible worldwide to everyone. That means any person throughout the world could go in Python, type out everything, and make changes into it. Okay. So in simple language, what I would say is to make it understandable for everyone. So what he did is he made it an open forum on internet, so on World Wide Web. So anyone could access it first of all, and anyone could make any kind of changes in the programming language. So people kept, updating things and doing experiments with that language. So that was a phase when Python language was getting experimented in 1991 to 1993. So in 1993, in 1991, when the Python was came online, it was the version 0.9, 0.9. Then Python 1 was came in 1993. Uh, then Python 2 came in 1994, and then 2.1, 2.2. Like these versions of Python came on where they kept on updating and making few changes in it, and make it more interactive. They added few things like recently they added lambda functions and all these things in Python. So to make it more interactive, they kept updating the language. So yeah, now also this language is getting updated. So in 2008, Python 3 was created. So it was accessible on Linux as well. Then in 2018, Python 2.0 got closed. Okay, so then people start 2.0 as in 2.7.19, that version of Python. Till that version, previous version got stopped. And later on, people started using versions 2.7.19 onwards. So people started using those versions. And here now, in 2019, Python 3.7.3 version goes stabilized, that is finalized, and whatever versions you will be using or downloading nowadays would be the latest version would be 3.7.3. Then now 3.8 version of Python is still in progress. I mean, it's in beta version. That means people are still experimenting and working on that version, and it will be released shortly. But so yeah, currently we'll be using 3.7.3. So these things, I guess basically every person who is gonna learn and who is learning Python would know. uh, then comes applications of Python. Yeah, as you know, Python is pretty easy to understand, and it's, as I told you, it's very closer to human language, English language. So application of Python would be in web application. That is, we use we create many web applications. So for that, Python is used. Then for graphic user interface based applications, then software development applications, network programming, games, and 3D. So most probably, most widely it is used in games and 3D nowadays. Then other business applications are also there. And when it comes to data science, nowadays it's being a buzz: data science, AI, ML. There Python is making wonders. So it's getting used terribly. So it's if you are having interest in these kind of technologies now, which are coming nowadays, and which are getting very popular, the most important thing or word you will hear here is Python. So yeah, then comes the overview of further sections. So I'll move on to the next slide. So what will be the further sessions we will be taking? Uh, yeah, excuse me. Further sessions. So here are the 12 sessions we will be having. First is introduction to Python, which I'm taking right now. Then tomorrow it will be basic operations and fundamentals in Python. So basic operations as in, the common operations we do. Actually, addition, subtraction, and all these basic things I'll be teaching you or telling you right now. But the other fundamentals in Python, what are the basic things in Python and what things are not there, what things are missing in Python, everything I'll be discussing with you in the second session, tomorrow session. Then comes control statement and program flow. On third day. Control statement is, as you know, if you're aware about other programming languages like C, C++, Python, Java, there you have if-else statements. So talking about these control flow statements, actually, I'm sorry, I put it system here. My apologies. It's statements. Yeah, cool. So control statements, and then comes string, program flow, as in how the Python program is getting implemented line by line, and what are the main things that happen inside the program that I'll be discussing in that session. Then comes string and string function. Sorry. So you all know string is one of the data types. So in Python we don't have arrays. Okay, so yeah, as I told you in the previous slide, things which are not in Python. So one of the thing is arrays. Arrays are not in Python. So for arrays, you will have to use strings. Okay, so then comes, so the various functions related to string, I'll be teaching you, I'll be explaining you. And then comes the list and list function. So as you all know what list is. What list is? List is the set of entities which we can use to further code it in a programming language. So in Python, list is just what we knew in basically in other programming language. Tuples is a new concept, I guess, in Python. So that also I'll be discussing with you. Functions and scope of variables. So yeah, functions you will be knowing. We also had function in C also. So what function is? It's a set of blocks which we use alternatively. So if we have to use particular set of program more often, so there we'll use one particular function if we need to call it frequently. So then function and scope of variables. So scope of variables as in local, global. So in functions also, if you know, there are particular terms, objects, which are in global and local. So I'll be discussing about it in detail with you. Advanced topics in functions, that also you will get to know in the next session. Dictionaries in Python. So pretty interesting topic. Dictionaries are also used worldwide very often. So as you know, dictionary means it has one entity and a key related to it. So let's say name, and for name you will be having, let's say, Rutuja. So there are various entities in dictionaries which we'll be discussing in that session, and how dictionaries are used in Python, what are its applications and everything related. Then comes advanced operations in Python. So advanced operations as in what are the various operations which we can uh, use in Python. So there are few interesting things which Python has which no other programming language consists of. So that thing would be considered there. Essential Python operations as in there are pretty famous essential operations in Python. Like there is lambda function. So in one statement, instead of writing the whole bunch of program for function, in just one statement you will run your program. So there are these pretty useful and time saving shortcuts in Python which you can use for the better productivity or optimization of a program. Then comes the last part, future scope of Python. So here you will get to know how Python is useful in other and worldwide, as in nowadays what's the scope of Python. And there I'll be explaining you the introduction to advanced Python session also. So if you people get satisfied with this session, we will again continue with the advanced Python training, where you will get to know more further things about Python in detail and where exactly it's used in detail, and we'll have the hands-on about all these sessions. So before moving on to the hands-on thing right now, like before typing out something, I just want to tell you that today's session was introductory, hence it was pretty theoretical. But further, uh, tomorrow onwards, all 11 sessions would be completely hands-on. So for that, those people who are genuinely willing to, learn Python efficiently and effectively, they all are requested to get, hands-on Python's training tool. That's I'll be telling you to download Intellij, and I'll be explaining you how to do that. So tomorrow onwards, I want maximum, actually each and every one of you to simultaneously type out and learn everything along with me, because that would be more interactive, and it will be just like an going on to classes and learning Python. It will be as close to that. And moreover, any queries you will be having, we'll discuss about it also in the last Q&A session. Also, I would love if you prefer to do this session on PC, to open Zoom on your PC or laptop. In mobile also it is not that bad, I mean, but to keep it more interactive on PC, you can have two different windows. You can share your window and do it simultaneously on type out the code simultaneously on other side. So anyways, those who are not having PCs or laptops, or who are traveling and still want to listen it or learn it, they can use Decoder. So Decoder is an app on, you will get it on Play Store. So it's an app basically for the coding purpose only, so where you can type out and run your code simultaneously while I'll be teaching you. Then uh, then what I'll be telling you to I'll be showing you some hands-on Python trainings now, and also we will be doing some practice on Intellij tomorrow onwards. So uh, till then, before I start, I just want to know whether do you have any questions? Uh, Let me check the chat box. Is anyone having any question, or shall I continue? Ma'am, software details to download. Yeah. Murtaza, I'll be sharing it with you shortly. What are the software details to download? Just have some patience. Any other question is anyone having? Or shall we continue? If you want me to continue, just type yes. Okay, cool. We are good to go then. Let me share the screen again. Okay. So moving on to the, so yeah, as you know, I'm using Ubuntu, that is Linux. So why I'm using it is it's more interactive, and you can also use Windows, but I would still prefer you to use Linux as, Ubuntu, as both Python and Linux are pretty similar. They both are open source things. So if just give me a sec. So here you can see, uh, 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 So what I've done here is I've typed out control plus shift plus, yeah, control shift and plus or equals to sign. So to zoom in the thing. So I guess everyone is able to see this now, or wait on, yeah. So first thing first, so as you can see, it's not the Python. This thing is not Python. Okay, so there's just a terminal, normal Ubuntu Linux terminal we are having in front of us right now. As soon as I type Python 3, my Python is already downloaded. Okay, yeah. So to download also, you'll have to do the same thing, Python 3, enter, and your Python will get downloaded as soon as your internet is on. Then you just need to type out coding. So if having your phone with you, in front of you right now, so or any of your tool, preferably if you are on Linux or even on Ubuntu, I'm sorry, Windows, start typing it out, whatever I'm typing. So the basic things would be just, let's say, print to. That's it. As simple as that. So just imagine what kind of thing you would have needed to write this code in C, C++, Java, if you are aware about those languages. So for writing this, just this is written on in Python in just one line, one sentence. For this, you would have wrote, I guess, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. You know, int input A, then int input B, then initialize the amounts and values, then do the add of A plus B. All these things, it takes a lot of time. So how this is happening in Python, if you think so, as you can see, we have just mentioned a plus sign, plus operator. We call it as operator, addition operator. So there we just have added two numbers and we have simply got an output. It's as simple as that. So what happens at the background, that is while compiling it, while running it, what happens in background is you immediately, so as I told you, Python is already made from C. So Python language is coded in C language. So for this single sentence, it has a background code which is already written in C. So as soon as you type enter, this code gets compiles in the background in C, and you immediately get an output. Then what I can say, you can write print 44 minus 2 or anything, 42, as simple as that. Then comes multiplication, print 55 into 3. Yeah. So if you remember, like I remember in my first year of engineering, we used to do this. First program was to write hello world. Okay. And then later on we used to continue it with calculator, addition, subtraction, division, then some simple PNR problems, simple interest, how to calculate. Yeah, this basic problems. So in Python, we don't have to do all these things. As you can see here, every code is getting run line by line. So you must be thinking, what if I have to write the whole bunch of code and I don't want output in every single line? We have the solution for that also. I'm just showing this to you on console, that is on this terminal platform. But for running the whole code, if you want the whole code to run in first attempt itself and you don't want output of every single line, you can do it in the other platform, that is Intellij IDEA. So some more examples if you want. What I can do is print 2 star star 3. Okay, what happened here? Star star stands for 2 raised to. So 2 raised to 3 is 8. So instead of using for raised to, for the power thing, we have 2 stars here. So 4 raised to 5, 1024. So Python is that easy. Then comes, okay, everything is done. Then why not division? Print 2 divided by 3. I'm sorry. 1666. So if you count the whole number here, see this whole number. How many digits are here after the point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can anyone tell me why is it 16 digit? Yeah, I want someone to answer this if you know. Yeah, you can type it out in the chat box. Or shall I do code? Please tell Python for Windows. In Windows, where to write this? Yeah, in Windows also you have the console, right? Hello. Please tell Python for 2 raised to 4 equals to 16. Okay. Yeah, but I guess I did 2 raised to 3, which is 8. Anyway, so this questions I got in private. I'll be discussing with you in the Q&A session. As I mentioned earlier, that it was 2 divided by 3. The answer was 0.66666 up to 16. Okay, yeah. So you say 2 raised to 4 is 60. Okay. But can anyone explain me, and not privately to me, to everyone, that why it was 60, why it was 2 raised to 4 and why it was 60? What's your clue? Is there any clue? Yeah. What do you think was the reason behind it? Anyone, please. Raise hand, we can unmute you. Yeah. So anyone willing to answer, just raise your hand. We will unmute you so that you can explain it or answer it. Yes, anyone? Yeah. I want my students to be interactive. This is not one-side session for sure. I want your inputs also. So anything which comes in your mind, I want to know what's your, thought process behind it. Anyone? Yeah, I can see an answer. It's because it is 4-digit binary. It's because to have good precision in decimal values. Yeah, Vanshi, you're right. I mean, yes. So to have the perfect precision in decimal values. And secondly, is it a 4-digit binary by Gayatri Fari? Well, yeah, when it comes to 2 raised to 4, which is 16. So as we know, it's the codes are run in what? Zeros and what? It's binary, right? So that's why the base is 2. Raised to 4 is because it's a bit. It's a byte. Okay. So that's the reason when it comes to raised to 4, we get 16-digit code in the processor when this, what I can say, when this line gets compiled. Okay, I guess this much of answers are enough. Let me share the link again. Okay, there we go. So why we got here these many 6s is because what happens generally in the backside in the processor is when you type this out, print 2 divided by 3, the processor gets code in the form of decimals. Okay, so it's 2.0000 divided by 3.0000. So when it runs and compiles the process, as you know, the output we get, it's in the form of 0.66 up to 16 digit, because 2 raised to 4 it's 16. That is for to run a binary, to run a code, it is run in the form of bytes. Okay, so every byte consists of what, 8, but we have group of 4 4. So for every code, for the better precision, it's given in this form. One more thing. So in Python, values are never round off. So these values are, you will always find in precision. So if you do, let's say, I'm sorry, print 2 divided by 2, you will get 1.0, not just 1, okay? Because they want to ensure us that whatever value is, there is nothing after it. It's 1.0 sharp, okay? So as Python is more precise language, it gives us each and every detail to know and to run all kind of programs we use. Then comes, let's say, print, what's the value of pi? Yeah, remember what we used to do in childhood? The value of pi, instead of writing 22 by 7, we used to write 3.14. And I remember I used to write 3.1415. But if you find it in a precise value in Python, it's mentioned 3.1428, again up to, okay, check out the number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So here, the number after the point, after the decimal, is 15 and not 16. Why? Because one number has already been counted here. And in previous question, or in previous code we saw, 0 didn't count as anything, and hence the rest all numbers were counted up to 16 digit decimals, it was considered. Whereas including 3, we have 16 decimals here, 16 digits here. So yeah, for the better precision, what I can show you is print 22.0 divided by 7. You can do this also in Python. You will get the same answer. I'm sorry. Okay, so basically I'm using Python 3 here. So that's the reason answer is 15 digit, till 15 decimals. But when you write the same code in Python 2, if any one of you is using Python 2 version 2.7 onwards, so there you will get the output up to this. Okay, this I tried when I was using my older version, and the time when I used to learn Python, I got this kind of output, and I kept wondering why this was happening. So in Python 3, again, this thing, the programmers keep on updating. So previously it was up to this, up to 7, digit 7 here. But in Python 3, they have updated and made it more precise up to 16 digit. So as every one of you, there are the data types which are uh, integers, floats, and doubles. So here you can see 44, 55, 2, all these are integers. 4 by digits are floats, where you can get a float as in point. So 1.0, you can consider it as float. And third is double. So 1.0 as in the value after decimal, after point, which would consider more precise value, is considered as float. While considering this huge value, it is considered as, I'm sorry, it's considered as double. As you can see, here the numbers are given up to 16 digit. Okay, so if, can any one of you tell me how much bytes are required for integers, floats, and doubles? I will again stop sharing to, because I can see I can't see the charts here. Yeah, yep. 22 by 7, 1 nibble. Yeah, you're right. 22 by 7. Acha, okay, he was giving me the answer of value of pi. Okay, can anyone tell me that how many bytes are used for integer, how many for float, and how many for double? I guess I have explained you what integer, float, and double is, if anyone is not aware. So I hope these things are clear to you. Integer means this, a proper number. Float means something which is pointer. Yeah, integer is 2. Correct. Partially correct. Then anyone can tell me, was a byte for 4? Float is 4. Integer is 2 by 4. Exactly. Anshul, you are correct. It's integer is of 2 to 4 bytes, 2 or 4 bytes. Float is for 4 bytes. And yeah, double is for 8 bytes. So here, that's the reason this whole thing is considered as double, because it consists of 8 bytes. I mean, the value which can be stored it's up to 8 bytes. Yeah, I guess correct answers. My students are pretty smart. Moving on to the next session, next part, print to mod 3. Okay, tell me what's mod. I'll again open the chat box. Remainder, exactly. So when you divide 2 by 3, what you get is a remainder. So as you know, 2 upon 3 is when you try to divide 2 by 3, uh, it gives you quotient as 0 and remainder as 2, because we can't divide it to the whole number. So yes, so the answer here is 2. Then remember how hard or how uneasy it used to be to write this whole code in other programming languages like C, where just to write a modulus of number or just to find out all these values, you need to type out uh, all kind of data, like how many integers do you need, what would be the size, and what would be the size of output you want, everything you were supposed to mention. Here nothing is required, and that's the magic of Python. Then I can do for mod 2, taking pretty simple values, because no matter, even if we take hard, bigger values, it's gonna give answer in just fraction of seconds. So yeah, 4 divided by 2, quotient is 2, remainder is 0. So that's the reason answer is 0. Then comes, just a sec. Yeah. So these were the basic operations which we can do, what I can say, calculations, operations which we can do in Python. Apart from that, there is a lot which I can tell you right now, but as many of the people right here are wondering and want to know that what's Intellij and why we are using it and what's the reason behind using it. And how to download it mainly. So before that, I just want to have you some patience, because I'll be telling you another most important thing, that is things which are not in Python. So Python is that kind of programming language which has hell lot of shortcuts, and hence it becomes easier for any kind of user to run the program easily on Python. So things, you can even note this thing down, or I can add these things to PPT further, like later on, so that you can get it at this session is for plus members. So if you want, you can get this PPT where I'll also add the details, like things which are not there in Python. So first thing is character thing is not there in Python. So for all kind of data types, so character means what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, up to Z, alphabet, symbols. These things you won't find in a different way in Python. If you put int A, that's it. It's an integer. It's in form of any integer, character, or symbols. So these things are not, separately designed or mentioned in Python, because as the main agenda for making Python was to make it so user friendly and simply that even a small child could learn it as a beginner's programming language, and could, it should be so much comfortable and so much relatable to the normal English we use. So even if when I'll be explaining you the what I can say, if else statements and all these in Python, if you remember, for statement in C used to be for I, in something I is less than equal to j I plus plus. You won't find these things in Python. It's way simpler, and it would be just like a normal sentence we would type out. So it's like you are thinking about one sentence, that how this program could run, and you can simply implement it in Python in a very simple English. So the very important and interesting thing about Python is you don't have to remember the syntax. So where everyone screw up is remembering the syntax, because those people, there are two types of people, let me tell you. First are those people who mug up the programs and syntax especially, and program in that way, note things down. And second, there are types of people who actually use their brain to write the program, and uh, they also find a lot of errors, but they still try to resolve the errors, put some more efforts, and try to get the finalized proper output. So in Python, uh, it's for the second kind of people. And when the kind of people who try to put so much of efforts, the main problem they face is they are not uh, good in mugging up, hence they screw up. Most of the time they screw up in the syntax part. But as long as they keep on practicing, there comes a time when they're good, then they get very good in the syntax of particular language also. What's difference in every languages, let's say whether it's C, C++, Java, Python, Kotlin, Julia, all these languages, or many more languages are there. So what's the difference in these languages is, its main difference is its syntax. Okay, that's what defines us, or differentiates it from other languages. So for other languages, it gets very hard to, you know, understand the syntax also. But for Python, as you have seen, just by typing out print 2 plus 3, we get 5. We don't have to remember anything as such. Just simple and very, convenient and easy to use. That's how Python is. Hence, it becomes easier. Things which are not in Python, characters are not in Python, then switch case. So let me tell you what switch case, for those who are not aware about it. So switch case is generally a term which is used frequently for running one particular set of code. So let's say if you are running a code of, let's say, put one, if you want a program for calendar, let's say. So put 1 for January, put 2 for February, put 3 for March, and so on and so forth. So in that case, we don't have to use particularly switch case in Python. So you must be thinking that, okay, switch case was a shortcut for it, but there is a shorter way in Python, which I'll be discussing with you when we move on to the control flow statements in Python. So there I'll be explaining you, instead of using switch statements, how it becomes easier and simpler to just by using the control flow statements in Python, just to write a program for getting the what calendar. Okay, then we don't have do while statement in Python. So as we have for loop in Python, which is more than sufficient, trust me. In C, C++, we had for loop, do while loop, where where we used to remember a whole lot of different kind of syntax. So do while loop is not there in Python. Why? Ask me. Because I'm sorry, Van Rossum didn't want to make things, again, harder and critical, and which are not easy to remember by general people. He wanted it to make it way simpler for everyone. And, if for loop is doing the same thing as do while loop, then why to take another set of program, or why to make another set of program in C for Python just to run a do while loop. So that's why he thought that there is no need of another loop. For loop is enough. Similar thing with switch case. He thought, why to make a separate switch case when this thing can be done more efficiently in normal control flow statement, that is if else, or if else, if elif, these statements. Okay, then there is pointers. Yeah, you will be shocked, but pointers are not there in Python. So when I'll be explaining you, so in if you remember in our 11th 12th standard, those students who took computer programming, computer science as language, or anyone of you who has learned C, C++, or any of the programming languages, functions and pointers were the most important and what I can say, tragic and very vibrant things in that particular language. And I remember while learning C, I got stuck in my functions and pointer. I couldn't go ahead of it because that thing would make me very, that thing was confusing for me that time. But as soon as, and trust me, till the date I learned Python, the thing was still a question mark for me. This whole function and pointers and uh, the whole concept of it. But when I learned Python, it becomes as simpler as I'll be telling you. So yeah, pointer is not there in Python. You will be simply doing functions and you will be able to do each and everything instead of doing it in using pointers. Arrays are not in Python, as I told you. So basically, those people who are aiming for very, what I can say, huge companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon. So I gave my second round coding round of Google. So there I used Python as a programming language. And trust me, previously I was wondering whether I did a good thing or not, because I was not a pro in Python that time. And I thought that I'm pretty good in C, so I should continue with C and I should learn, I should write programming in C, as Google asks for a profile of software engineering in Google. You need to learn data structures and algorithms in and out. And for that, you have to use any comfortable language you are good with. So I was good with C and moderate with Python that time. Still I chose Python because I know for data structures and algorithms, the basic and most important thing was arrays. Okay, and for arrays, as you all know, we can literally make arrays in one sentence in Python. Okay, so if anyone has learned C, C++, Java, recall the lines of codings we used to write just to note down what I can say, to type out arrays, to take out to take out the form of arrays, how much input it requires, and explaining everything, what kind of input it has, everything. This thing is not required in Python. Okay, so arrays are not required in Python. Arrays can be done using list. So in list, we can, while using list, we can implement the same output of an array. We can implement the same function or program we want to run in the form of arrays. Then comes most important curly braces, which are not in Python, luckily, and who, yeah, fortunately. So, forgetting the parenthesis, curly braces, forgetting this and that. This thing is not, luckily, it's not in Python. So, whenever you write a code, there was a big question mark. Mera parenthesis kaha chhut gaya. Okay, you don't have to face any kind of, you won't be able to, you won't have to face any kind of these issues in Python. So that's the best thing. You don't have semicolon in Python. So in other programming language where you put semicolon after almost each and every sentence, where you literally have to remember, acha, after this statement, do I have to use semicolon? After this, I guess there is no semicolon. I guess after for loop, there is no semicolon, or yes, there is. These kind of questions used to consume more of your mind rather than focusing on the main content of, or this optimal solution of the program or the problem. So Python is so easy and so convenient for us that Van Rossum wanted us to, completely focus on the core content of the program. That is the logic behind the program, which we will be writing or typing, instead of focusing on all these, unwanted or things like parentheses, semicolon, and other critical uh, data types we will be using. So yeah, these things are not in Python, which are for good purpose only. So as I told you earlier, you must be wondering things which are not in Python. It means that is that a drawback of Python? No, it's a plus point of Python. and hence that's the reason it's way easier than other programming languages to get started and learn with Python. Then yeah, moving on to the second last part, how to download Intellij. So I'll be telling you. uh, just give me a sec. Hmm. I already have an Intellij here, so I do my coding on this platform only. So if you're having your computer or laptop in front of you, immediately start typing out Intellij IDEA. So yeah, Intellij was found by JetBrains. So JetBrains, as you can see. So let's, before going to download this whole thing, just to get a basic idea about what it is and how it is formed, to get a clearer idea, let's see. Yeah, it's a computer software, and it was written in Java. So Intellij, it's written in Java, and it was developed by JetBrains and uh, commercial. Yeah. So just a basic and important thing which Python programmer or learner would know is it was made in Java, and it's a computer software. Yeah. I guess not sure why it's taking so much of time. I'll do it on another slide. Okay. Um, has anyone of you got it? Oh, I'm not sure what's the issue. Uh, mm, just hold for a sec. Is there any? Is it necessary to use Intellij? Can we use any other software? Yes, Anshul, you can use any other software. Why I prefer Intellij is because it's uh, again a free forum for everyone. If you have any other software, it's absolutely fine. You can use it because anyhow the program we would be typing out uh, would be the same. Okay, so it doesn't matter what software you would be using in the background. It's completely fine. But for those who are not aware of programming, I mean, there might be few. So for them, I have mentioned it here. Many of you are not send their IDs. Mm, I have no clue why it's not getting started. I'll do it one more time. And I'll also tell you the plus points of using Intellij as soon as I'm able to open it. Uh, yes, hopefully here it is. Mm, well, my internet is good, I guess. Don't know what's the issue. Mm, oh god. Anyway, it's neither that hard to download it. I mean, you can just open this, and as long as you open it, there comes the option of download. And there are two communities. uh, I guess it's downloading. Hold on. or I'll just show you it in my mobile. I like how it looks. Mm, okay, I seriously don't know. Here we go, finally. So yes, there you get an option. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, here you get an option. As you can see, there are these many languages which we can, uh, uh, learn or compile on IntelliJ, capable and economic IDE. So uh, for JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So what's IDE is Integrated Development Environment. So it's a development environment as in the tool which we can use to develop a particular coding or run a particular coding. It's that kind of environment, integrated as in, all kind of package and resources are given and inbuilt in it, which you will have to just go to the download part. I just hope it comes quickly. Yeah, good. So in download, we have three options, as you can see, for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So I have Linux. You have two options, Ultimate and Community. Don't go for Ultimate, as it's a paid one. Community is free of cost. So you can go for Community if you don't want to spend any money. It's, as you can see, it's free and open source. That means free of cost, and anyone can compile and make further changes to upgrade it. The license for commercial and open source are almost similar as in the paid one. This paid one, and this is for free one. So Java, Kotlin, Groovy, Scala. So we are checking out what we have in IntelliJ for free. Android, Maven, Gradle, SVG, Debugger, Git is also here. These are the things which you won't get in IntelliJ, but which we are not required here. We are not learning JavaScript and all this kind of SQL, all these things. So for this thing, you just click on the download option, and that's it. You will be getting it downloaded in your laptop. So as I have my IntelliJ here, as long as it gets downloaded, you will get to know, like, so what I want you all to do right now is to download IntelliJ in your laptop or your system you are using, or any other software if you have. I'm sorry. So it's the latest version of IntelliJ. So uh, I want all the participants who are present today to get this downloaded in your laptop or system by tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be having the session at the same time, that is 7 o'clock. And at that time, I want this in every one of your system so that we can use and compile the program simultaneously. So tomorrow I'll be starting with basic operations and fundamentals of Python. So it won't be like, watching that kind of YouTube videos where you are learning something theoretically. It's hands-on thing, and you can ask me any kind of questions you want meanwhile. Okay, so this is how IntelliJ looks. I don't mind if you are using any other platform or tool for running the coding in Python, as long as you're pretty comfortable in using it. Okay, so if you're using, let's say, Vim or other resources, Spider, there are other tools also. So there you can also run your program, but make sure that you are able to use it properly. Okay, so that's the only reason. This is how it looks. These are the Python programs, okay, which are already I have solved. They are not inbuilt, don't worry. You all have to solve it by your own. You get the tips like this, where you can make changes in IntelliJ. And why IntelliJ? Because it's very user friendly, and there are a lot many things you can do in this platform. That is, if you want to increase the size, you can type out a code for it. Okay, uh, there are what I can say, pretty informative things you get to learn like this tip of the day from Intellij, as long as okay, what I'll be doing is in the session, tomorrow's session, as long as we are all are together and as soon as we start, we'll open Intellij and I'll tell you the proper setup for it. So we'll do our setup simultaneously together, and I'll tell you how to start writing a Python program and how to create a Python project in Intellij, and then starting out typing out the project in it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, where is the PPT? Yep. So I don't know how many of you have downloaded Intellij by now. If it's downloaded, we can even do the setup. But for everyone, for do the setup and get it done by everyone, I want each and every one of you to get it downloaded by tomorrow. Get a proper internet connection for the same. And yeah, that's it for now. I guess was the last session. What will you gain after this training? I assure that you all will be able to, get comfortable with Python and don't have the buzz or the fear of learning any programming language. I guess many of you are, you have learned other programming languages and many of you haven't. But still, if you are a beginner, Python is the best thing that you can learn, and that too from Cyberfred. And it's free for Plus members. So what else you want? It's a most beneficial thing you can get. After learning this session, this training of 12 sessions, you will be able to code all the basic things in Python. Moreover, I guess there's one new message. Oh, no issues. And moreover, the confidence which I used to lack earlier in learning other programming languages, like I was good with C, still I was missing that confidence. And I got it after learning Python, because as Python was pretty, easy to understand. I'm damn sure that when you will learn this programming language, uh, by the end of 12th session, you will be confident enough to type out a code, uh, whichever code in Python, and you will be able to think. So the most important thing for a programmer is to have an ability to think, to compile, to run any program and make it more feasible and optimal. So when it comes to Python, it is always easier to learn it, and I'm sure while uh, typing out the code, you will be able to think more, and we'll keep the session so interactive that it will make you think and use your brain. And that's why it will be more interactive to have you with the session. That's why I kept it hands-on, actually, so that we both of us, you and I, will be doing it simultaneously, and will make it more comfortable for you also to learn Python. So I guess that's it for now. If you have any queries, just raise your hand, or just type it out in the chat box. Anyone? Any questions, anything you want to add, any improvements? We will be covering the security aspects also in the training. Can we use Linux and Windows in one laptop? Yes. Okay, we can use Intellij IDEA on Windows also, right? Yes. Okay, so Ravindra, yes, we can use Intellij IDEA on both Windows and Linux, obviously. If you can see Intellij, like on that website, it was mentioned for Windows, Linux, and like Mac for downloading purpose. So there you can download it anywhere. Actually, I have it downloaded in Windows and Linux both. Vrinda, your question is, can we use Linux and Windows in one laptop? Yes. So I don't have it here, I guess. Let me check. Mm-mm-mm. No, I don't have it here, but yes, you can use Linux and Windows. Uh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can use it on both the platforms, that is on Linux and Windows, in one laptop using Virtualbox. So Virtualbox is made by Oracle. You can download Virtualbox again from web. It's a through 2-3 minute thing. It's as easy as downloading. Sorry, I joined a bit late. Why do we need Intellij for Python? So hi Rajesh. It's not necessary as such to use Intellij in Python. We are not, mugging up things to do in IntelliJ or do in one thing as such. You can use any programming tool you're comfortable with. So as I told you, there is Vim or Spider. There are other tools where you can use, where you can run a code in Python. This GUI of IntelliJ idea looks similar to PyCharm. It is indeed. Yeah, so you said to use VirtualBox. Right. Yes, I said Virtualbox. Uh, mm, yeah, I said Oracle's VirtualBox. So you can, just type it out in your browser. You will get VirtualBox where by being in Windows, you can use Linux and vice versa. Should we download Python 3.8 also in our laptop? That would be more preferable because that's the latest version. And if you download it, you would, get beneficial to, even if you have Python 2.7 onwards version, that's fine. But I would say if you have a good internet connection, download the latest Python version as soon as you can. There was one more question I missed, I guess. Should we download? Yes, if it's possible for you, download, and if not, I'll in tomorrow's session in the beginning I'll tell you how to download, the latest version of Python. Um, we'll be covering the security aspects also in the training. Okay, there is this CF number given. I don't know who is the person. What's the name of person? So SK. Um, can I know in security aspects, as in what do you mean? Shinaj. Okay. So, hi Shinaj. Can you just tell me what's security aspects, as in you mean to say? I mean, you mean the cyber security in terms of Python, or security related things in Python? I mean, security regarding issues, or as it's an open source. So are there any issues, security issues in Python in that sense you're saying, or learning cyber security in Python, security related things in Python? Well, we are completely learning the basic things. So, security, data science, machine learning, these all
Uh,
are,
Rutuja, let me take that, and I think for the benefits of all. So everyone, I think we are already doing the digital security program where
yeah,
every month we are taking a topic and going in detail over there. So this, when we talk about the Python is basically here. What Rutuja is going to take the 12 session on how to start with Python. So what are the use cases for that? If you want to use in AI, if you want to use that for blockchain or any IoT specific thing, that will be separate thing you can learn, but
you learn.
this course is specifically for basics how to start coding in Python. But to
Yeah,
just give you an perspective of these 2 months digital security program session which we have, like artificial intelligence, on 24th
data
of
analytics.
February and 27th of February there are two sessions scheduled, the tools and techniques for artificial intelligence and how to use the same techniques, the coding and all. So where Deepak Singh from IIT Kanpur, he's a PhD over there, will be taking those sessions on artificial intelligence, on how to code using the for Python or other languages for those. And then next month we will be talking about how to leverage that AI for fraud detection and cybersecurity. So that is different chapters in digital security program we will be taking care of. But from Python, the 12th session on Python from Rutuja, you can just expect that how and start writing the code. And then different
Yeah.
domains are there where you can actually leverage that in the use cases. So that is. from that perspective. Yeah, Rutu, you can
Uh,
carry on with the questions.
yeah. So if you want to learn, so as I have told you, the applications of Python, it is nowadays used in all kind of technologies. Let's say AI. So if you want to implement Python, particularly in AI, we can also conduct like you can get in touch with us to conduct such kind of sessions. We can think about and take those kind of sections in AI or cybersecurity or data science. Okay, but as of now, I'll be teaching you how to code in Python and how to make you, comfortable and confident enough to write a coding in Python. There was one question again I missed, I guess. No? Should we download Python 3.8 also in the laptop? Yes, I guess I answered this. Do we need to download Python 3.8 and IntelliJ IDEA both? Yeah. So yes, uh, as long as you have a good Wi-Fi and internet connection, I would prefer to download both. As I have told you here in terminal, I typed up this code. So this was because I had Python 3 installed. Okay. So if you are not sure about how to install it, I can explain to you in tomorrow's session. Even you can just on browser you will get to know in it's a hardly 2-3 step things to how to download Python. So in whatever what I can say operating system you are using, whether it's Windows or Linux, you can easily get it downloaded. Python, the latest version of Python would be always preferable. So this is where Python 3.8 is used, and IntelliJ is because, as I told you here, each and every code of us is getting compiled line by line, if you can see. So here you're putting coding, if you're writing a code and you're getting an immediate output here. But when it comes to IntelliJ, you will write the way you used to write code in C++ or other programming languages, where you literally write a complete set of code and you get the proper solution. So these interrupts you won't get. So it's not an interrupt actually, but kind of. You won't get output of each and every solution. Rather, you will get a whole bunch of solution. And in IntelliJ, uh, as soon as we will start, and as long as we'll keep going on further sessions, you will know the importance of using a particular tool for running Python programming, be it IntelliJ or be it Spider, Vim, anything. So whichever tool you are comfortable. If you are using any other tool from for other programming language, say for Java or the programming languages, if you are using other tools, you can carry on with the same, as long as it's supporting the latest version, or as long as it's supporting at least Python. So yes, you can go with it. Any other questions? uh, that's great, thanks. Yeah, welcome. So I guess that's it. Is anyone having any other question or any feedback you want to give? How was it? Shall we continue in the same way, or you want it to be in typical PPT formats, or you want it to be hands-on? I want that feedback. I would still go with hands-on because I want you to not just to read out what Python is. I want you to literally the type it out and learn simultaneously with me. Because if you know what we used to do in college, if you are a student, what generally happens is colleges, the teacher is literally writing down uh, the code on board, and we are literally noting it down in our uh, notebook. And then after once in a week, there is a practical hardly for 2 hours. Yeah, that hands-on would be better for understanding. Exactly. Your ways could continue it, please. All right, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Talking about, yeah, so in once in a week, you get hardly 2 hours in college to practice the code, which is not preferable. So I'm following this hands-on session because I'm pretty influenced by the practical coding, and that's why I wanted it to be interactive with you all. And I'm damn sure that as long as this way 12 sessions are done, you will be pro in the basic Python. And if you really love this whole 12 session of Python, so on your request, we can even continue it for the advanced Python training. Okay. And yeah, the most important thing is you can confidently and proudly put this in all your social media. That is what I can say, that you are a good Python learner. In your skills, you can add Python after this 12 sessions. So maybe it LinkedIn, where you have to put your skills So Python is the thing where you can put. That's my assurance. So I get, yeah, that's for it. That's for today. I hope I get minimum of this number, this kind of like we had say 30 plus students today. I hope I get 30 plus students tomorrow also, and more number of students I'm sure are going to get added. So yes, that's it for today. And make sure you are having Intellij in your laptop. It's downloaded so we can work on the setup and try to get Python 3.7.3 minimum of that version in your laptop. So we can do it all together and we can do it simultaneously. Okay, so that's it. Thank you everyone. Thanks for your overwhelming response.
And if you can just explain the schedule right now for 4 days, and then rest
Yeah, yeah,
eight
yeah.
session
Sure,
we will
sure,
be
sure.
having in March, so we can end after that.
Okay, okay. Let me go. Let me start sharing the
No,
screen.
just if you can announce that, that will be okay. Yeah, we don't have.
Uh, Actually, I have it here. Yeah, no issues. So as you can see here, the first four session like till this. So first session was done today. Tomorrow we'll be having basic operations and fundamentals in Python. As I told you earlier, basic operations as in there are few basic addition subtraction we saw today, but similar and pretty critical operations which takes 5 to 10 lines of coding in other languages, which can be done just in one line in Python, that I'll be explaining to you. Fundamentals in Python covers a similar thing, which I'll tell you in short, so have some patience. Control statement and program flow, as I told you, if-else statements and how the flow of program, a Python program works, and what's the actual uh, flow of program is, how it looks, and everything in detail I'll be explaining you in the third session. Talking about fourth session, string and string
No,
functions.
I
As I
think that has been taken care of. I just want that dates. We don't have dates handy right now. I just want you to announce the dates that.
Okay, tomorrow is 11. 11 as in, yeah, uh, 11 February 2019. At the same time, you'll be having this session. Control statement, program flow, and string functions. Uh, it will be most probably in the weekend. I'll try to keep my sessions mostly in weekend, but I'm having another trainings going on simultaneously. So it becomes pretty hard for me to, keep sessions in weekends. But if I'm getting this kind of, response, I'll try my best to keep it in weekend. So this would be most probably in on I guess 22nd, and this would be on 29th. Uh, Days might get rescheduled, but you will be informed. Like worst case, if there is an emergency, the day would get rescheduled in worst case, and you will be informed with the same on your mail. Okay, so make sure you're checking your mails,
Sure.
and that's it
And
about
yeah,
the four
yeah,
sessions.
yeah, and yeah, that's it. So February we will be having the 4 sessions, but for rest 8 we will be trying, and I'm asking Rutuja to give us some time on Saturday and Sunday, if
Yeah,
possible. On 4 weekends of March, we will try to keep the 8 sessions, and if we are not able to do it on Saturday or Sunday, subsequent weekdays we will be doing, but we'll be send sharing the links with you in advance. Yep.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I think that's it, and it's a really good session, Rutuja. Good job
Thank
for
you
the
so
first one.
much.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. I think if people don't have any question, then we'll see you tomorrow.
yeah, sure.
Okay. See you then. Bye bye.